to prove to himself something. He wants to have a victory over himself, so to speak. His last fight was, of course, that one over against Costazu that you see referred to there, but really, he has fought a number of great fighters, not just Zhu, but you saw De La Hoya, Jorge Paez, a magnificent fight to win the championship against Freddie Pendleton when he got off the canvas twice to have to come back and win that fight by decision. It was a great, great night for Rafael.
Well, we're going to get all the answers in a very short time. We take you right now to the center of the ring, and the ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the New Frontier Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by America Presents matchmaker Thomas Brown. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Dr. Elias Ghanem, commissioners Glenn Carano, Lorenzo Fertitta, Dr. Luther Mack, and Dr. James Nave, with the executive director, Mark Ratner. Introducing to you our judges, scoring this bout from ringside, Chuck Jumpa, Al Lefkowitz, and Paul Smith. And introducing to you our referee in charge of this bout, Joe Cortez. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us across the nation, live from the New Frontier Hotel and Casino, it's fight time on Fox Sports Net and our main event of the evening. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks and joining us from Miami, Florida. He weighed in at 140½ pounds. His record stands at 11 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing Hicklet Lau. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round scheduled attraction, wearing white trunks with green and red trim, fighting out of Studio City, California, by way of his home of Yerba Buena, Jalisco, Mexico. His weight, 141 pounds. His record stands at 52 wins, 4 losses, with 42 big wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the return of the former IBF lightweight champion of the world, introducing Rafael Ruelas. Once again, our referee in charge, Joe Cortez, now to give instructions.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. We both know the rules in the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I'm here to enforce them. Give me a good, clean fight. Touch them up. Good luck.
Take a look at the numbers in this fight as we see the tail of the tape, and Rafael Ruelas is 5 years older than Hicklet Lau. Never thought we'd see him be older than an opponent, yet he is the veteran now. Hicklet Lau's the upstart, big reach advantage for Ruelas. Lau says he's going to brawl him. Ruelas says that's just fine with me. We'll see what happens.
I don't know about that reach differential because Hicklet Lau looks to me like he has extremely long arms.
Yeah, but reach is not really much of a factor in this fight because both fighters like to get in there and brawl. In his 11th year of professional boxing, Rafael Ruelas has been to the top and the bottom of boxing. Tonight, he has a lot of things on his mind, including his trainer, one of his best friends, Joe Goosen, who trained him throughout his career. This is the first time that Joe Goosen is not in the corner of his fight. He's been off a year. His last fight, the last time he was in the ring, he was getting poleaxed.
Very, very pretty. But Jerry Ryan, isn't that Star Trek show?
What's that?
Jerry Ryan? She's on Deep Space Nine or something like that.
Ruelas does not often like to fight at long range. He likes this kind of a fight. Do you think it works to his detriment at all, Sean, in terms of he doesn't really fight tall like a guy with a long reach would?
You know, he's so good fighting inside. And what he does is he gets down underneath his opponent. Never let your opponent get under you, and he certainly lives by that rule. And he's so good this way, you really don't know what kind of fighter he would have been as a cutie. I mean, being a cutie on the outside, you get on the end of your opponent's punches. It's a very dangerous way to fight. This way, he's smothering his opponent's punches, and he's landing his own. He has terrific hooks, which work inside.
Again, there's an awful lot of clashing of heads, even in this second round here.
Clash of the warriors.
Ruelas just has, in this kind of a situation, he has so much more experience. He knows how to tie up one arm, punch with the other. Things that Hicklet Lau hasn't seen before.
Right there, you're right. See that? You turn your opponent, you use his elbows. See there, you pull his elbow around, turn him into your left hook. Look how Ruelas also protects his chin with that right hand while he's throwing the left.
Keeps it up high, and then when he wants to at times, he'll just take that right arm and wrap it around the left arm of Lau. This is the other hand.
And this is the experience that Hicklet Lau did not realize he did not have.
I'll tell you what, though, Lau is doing a little bit of damage of his own here. That uppercut, though, has really been a weapon. And Lau says, no, you ain't got nothing. I'll tell you a guy who would know whether Hicklet Lau has anything, and that is Jesse Barella, who we saw in our last fight come away a winner on a knockout. And he fought Hicklet Lau and beat him, and here's what he had to say were he in Rafael Ruelas' shoes.
If I was Rafael Ruelas, I would try to get inside, get under his punches, and come over the top on him, you know, work the body, slow him down a little in the first couple rounds, and then finish him off in the last few rounds.
Well, Hicklet Lau took a bit of a beating. He did administer a little bit of a beating as well.
Well, Ruelas, of course, is going to get hit in those situations, Barry, because he puts himself in at close quarters. But he's willing to do that. Well, he's fought some pretty good opponents in his career. Take a look at the records of these guys when he fought them. Those first three guys undefeated. Michael Lerner with 13-1 record, and only Mark Richardson had a mediocre record. But despite all those undefeated records, believe me, this is the huge step up in class tonight.
Yeah, it really is. And
Championship caliber, yeah.
all of a sudden, he's in the Kentucky Derby, and I guess you can make the argument that he's been running with a few mules.
Former IBF lightweight champion of the world, Rafael Ruelas, won his championship back in February of 1994 against Freddie Pendleton. That fight in Inglewood, California.
And maybe that was a great job of just showing a warrior's heart, because Ruelas was all but knocked out in the first round by Pendleton, but would not give up and would not go down for that third time.
It was a pretty good right hand a moment ago by Ruelas, and again, Hicklet Lau against the ropes, and he's starting to take a little bit of a beating here.
Leaving himself open there as he came in. Boy, he had his hands just widespread, getting a little bit reckless now and trying to pull lightning out of a bottle.
Well, but he did catch Ruelas with a long right hand.
He's just opening up here.
And there's a big left hand. I'm not sure, but that he doesn't have Ruelas a little bit hurt here.
Lau just looked about a minute ago like he's saying, well, forget defense, I'm just going to go after him. And he came in wide open, arms just spread wide apart, and managed to get to Ruelas.
He did.
He's put him in a defensive posture here for the entire round.
I think right now, however, Ruelas is there because he wants to be. What happened to the slow starting Rafael Ruelas?
You know, I was thinking, he doesn't look particularly rusty to me. In fact, he looks about the same as he's always looked. He's throwing a lot of punches, Ruelas. He's connected with a lot. And as usual, he's been hit with a few as well.
That's right. That uppercut has been a very effective punch for him. But I'll tell you what, Hicklet Lau's not going anywhere. At least not at the moment.
We saw Lau give a very good performance against Ben Tacky, with Tacky 17-0. Lost a very close decision to Tacky. That was a very good fight. Lau is a member of Team Freedom from Cuba, although he's not the typical Team Freedom guy in that he came here with his parents when he was only 4 years old. He didn't make some daring escape from Cuba to get over here.
Got to be a very high punch count for Rafael Ruelas. Coming to the end of round number 3. It's been an action fight so far, no question about it.
You know, over the years, Joe and I have
Welcome back. We start round number 4. And it has been all offense thus far.
Yeah, real high volume of punches thrown so far in this fight. Both fighters have been utilizing their offense. And Rafael has been more accurate of the two. He has really thrown a lot of punches and landed a lot of them as well, as you can see.
Right now, let's go to Sean O'Grady with a very interested observer, and that is the brother of Rafael Ruelas, Gabe Ruelas, former WBC super featherweight champion. Sean?
And Gabe is coming off of a 9-month layoff. He had a victory recently in a fight. What is Rafael going through in this fight right here tonight?
Well, basically, I believe it's a lot of rustiness, just like myself. I fight and I feel the same way, but it's a matter of rounds and fights too. Today, I think 4 or 5 rounds, he'll start feeling warmer, harder, and more into throwing more punches and into really being in there in the ring, realizing that you are in a fight.
What are you telling him to do and why?
Well, basically, because I'm his brother and I've seen him fight all my life, I know that he likes to stay in there because he's so strong. He throws a lot of hard punches, but I think that best thing for him to do is move, give himself some time to warm up, get that rustiness off with more rounds. So, he's used to knocking people out so early, so he needs to give himself some time.
Hicklet Lau is tough. I know you're also telling him to protect his eye because you have a black eye. How'd you get that?
Well, this happens in the sport, but you try not to get any black eyes. But basically, he doesn't get those damn marks because he hits so hard. He doesn't give the guys time to hit him, But basically, that's what I'm telling him not to do. Right here, give him time. It doesn't matter.
Great. Okay, Gabriel Ruelas. Back to you guys. This one's heating up. Gabriel's happy over here in this corner.
Started out heating up. Thanks very much, Sean. Thanks to Gabe Ruelas. And the pattern for this fight is clearly set. This is just going to be the last guy standing. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and it looked for a moment as though Hicklet Lau was beginning to take command. In the first minute of this round, he had Rafael Ruelas dinged a little bit. But Ruelas in the last minute has come on a little bit better.
Well, again, Hicklet Lau turned him, hit him with a left hand. This has been a terrific fight. There's a left hand, and that hurt Ruelas. Hicklet Lau doing exactly what he told us he was going to do, for better or worse.
Well, he's coming out with a lot of youthful enthusiasm, I guess you could say, Barry, in this one.
Long way to go, remember. There's been an awful lot of punches thrown.
Ruelas landed some great body shots right here in the last few seconds.
And used his head to get Hicklet Lau off him there, too. It's been a war. We're coming back.
Ruelas is armed. Watch how he goes for this rope, because what's going to happen is he's going to leave himself open, see that arm, come back, tries to throw a punch, and it gets caught up on the top rope, and he's unable to throw it, and it leaves himself open for a Hicklet Lau counter.
That could be very dangerous. Well, this could absolutely come down to survival of the fittest. There's just been a ton of punches thrown.
Well, Rafael Ruelas throughout his career has shown nothing but great heart, Barry, so I expect to see it from him and throughout this fight. Hicklet Lau has got to show that he can be in this kind of a pitched battle and maintain that heart, maintain his will.
One of the sequins has come off of Hicklet Lau's trunks and landed on the cheek of Rafael Ruelas. He looks like Wonder Woman.
His face is sparkling.
Get him out of there. Come on, work out. Come on, let's go, work out. Your hands are free.
Lau staying away here in this early going in the 5th round.
And we talked about Joe Goosen and the fact that he is not training either of the Ruelas brothers, and Joe hasn't spoken publicly about it, so we're basically all reading between the lines of that silence, Barry. And Dan Goosen, the promoter for America Presents, as Lau turns southpaw for a moment, Dan Goosen has said, well, I'm going to go ahead and promote them because I don't want some other promoter going out and exploiting these guys as pieces of meat. We'll take it on a fight-by-fight basis, let them fight once, and we'll see what they've got, and then we'll go out and decide from there.
Yeah, the Goosens and the Ruelases have been an interesting story, and there's a lot of loyalty amongst all the Goosens and the two Ruelas brothers. And it continues.
Lau turning southpaw in this round. Choosing to fight this round at long range, too.
This could be a case of both fighters taking a round off.
No, but Lau really doesn't have a good jab when he turns left-handed. He just kind of paws with it. Rafael's jab is something I've never felt that he used very well or very much. He just kind of throws it out there as a rangefinder. He doesn't really throw it out there to really sting you. Look at how he's just, it's almost just to find his opponent. He just kind of throws it out there. He actually comes up short usually with his jabs, misses most jabs, because this is where he wants to be.
Let's go, work out of there, come on.
Well, this round was fought almost exclusively at long range until the last 15 seconds. Tough one to judge. We'll be back.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture, to see if they could get out. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Now, ride off with our best financing, 8.9%.
The right wiper blades make any car feel high performance. So use Anco, the clearest choice in wiper blades. Anco, another great part of Federal Mogul.
Stop it! Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely. Go Midas.
We start the 6th round.
Wipe that water there.
5th round fought very differently from the first 4.
Lau's gone back to an orthodox stance now, and it looks like he might want to be a little bit busier in this round.
Here are the numbers, and you can see the big drop-off in the 5th round after throwing 95 punches in round 4. A little more than half that in the last round, which was fought at long range, and that's a place where Rafael Ruelas does not particularly feel comfortable.
You know, I don't know, I just feel more secure and close. You know? I like it in close, you know. I feel that on the outside you can get caught at the end of a shot, you know, a swinging wild shot. In close, I feel that I have good leverage, you know, and I just feel comfortable inside.
It is a more enjoyable way to fight, too, on the inside. The rounds go by quicker. It's fun when you fight on the inside. When you get on the outside, it kind of drags off also for the fighters. I know it drags for the fans, but for the fighters, too. They want the excitement. They feel that rush and feed off the crowd.
I don't know, couldn't it be more grueling, though, and basically enervating and really take a lot more out of you, though?
It does, no doubt. No doubt it does. But you know what? When you're in that ring, you're in such a focus that you're ready for the challenge. You want to extend yourself. You want to make it an exciting fight. You want the fans to be into it also. Oh, good left hook from Ruelas inside. Hicklet Lau doing a terrific job boxing that last round.
I think Hicklet Lau, though, is starting to let Ruelas dictate how this fight is going to go. And now Lau trying to keep Ruelas pinned on the ropes, which, of course, is where Ruelas doesn't mind being.
Get him out, let's go.
Every hard puncher has to have someone there available to punch. They have to be accepting your punches. And that's what Rafael Ruelas loves to have his opponents do. Not to run, not to box, not to move, like two freight trains running together as opposed to one running in the back of the other.
Rounds are free.
Your card, Rich, a 1-point edge in a very close fight right now for Ruelas.
I must admit, I thought that Ruelas would have a little easier time of it tonight than he has against a foe that has this little experience. But Hicklet Lau's gone in there to fight tonight. And he has fought.
Yeah, I think he has too, and I still think that this could come down on the part of Ruelas to ring rust if there is any. On the other hand, Lau, as we've said, has only gone 10 rounds once, never gone 9, 8, or 7.
Don't be holding, Lau. Don't be holding. Stop punches, stop punches. Come on, guy. Watch the head coming in. Let's go.
And now again he goes southpaw.
Our family vacation started at Pep Boys when we met Larry.
Handsome guy.
Reminder to watch Going Deep. Chris Myers hosting the show that the critics call the 60 Minutes of Sports Television. It comes your way Sundays at 9 on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings. We're underway in round 7, and very difficult fight, I think, for the judges to score here. You can make a case for either fighter in almost every round. Now, the last 3 rounds have been fought very differently from the first 4.
I thought the first couple of rounds were pretty much in Ruelas' corner, but I think Lau may have had a little case of the jitters, you know, and perhaps he was a little nervous. I mean, he's never stepped in there with a guy with this kind of experience, this kind of resume as a Rafael Ruelas, but once he's gotten into the fight and warmed to the fight, Barry, he's been more than just competitive.
I think he has, yeah. In fact, I think there was a time he was dictating the fight. I'm not sure that's the case right now. But again, I think attrition is going to really be the telling story in this fight.
Well, Lau has been active, of course. Ruelas has not. On the other hand, Ruelas has been long distance a lot of times. And as you pointed out, I mean, Lau's only been more than 6 rounds once.
Well, it's interesting when you look at the ring records of these two that while that's a very valid point, the last time that Rafael Ruelas went as many as 10 rounds was back in 1996.
Work out. Come on, you handle free, guys.
Good right hand by Ruelas.
Yeah, he needed a 3-punch combination. Hard to imagine the guy that's been this tall for this division, you know, lightweight and super, and with his reach, would not use the jab more than he does, to any effect at all. But this is his style of fighting.
Watch that head, Ruelas. Come on. Watch that head, Rafael. Watch out.
Lau hasn't really been able to crank much power in the last couple of rounds. Whether or not fatigue is setting in is not yet apparent.
There have been many, you know, who truthfully have questioned the wisdom of the comebacks of the Ruelas brothers, but I think part of that is based on the fact that they're such likable people. Both Gabriel and Rafael, they're among the most likable people probably in boxing in the 90s.
Absolutely.
And people are concerned for it.
Yeah, you don't want to see a fighter take a beating, especially, as you said, somebody as likable as the Ruelas brothers. And of course, with the style of both of them fight, there's much more chance of that. I mean, the margin between very good and not so very good is much more narrow.
Stop it! Need brakes? Now during the Midas $40 lifetime brakes rebate, save $20 per axle or $40 for your whole car. Lifetime guaranteed $40 in savings right now. Go safely, go Midas.
If you think all ATVs are created equal, you've never ridden a Yamaha. The new Kodiak 400 Automatic and Big Bear 400 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule. Now, for a limited time, get low monthly payments on every Yamaha ATV and a great deal on a winch plower generator with select models.
Split fire performance. You've always...
We come to round number 8 now in a fight that could still be in the balance here.
Well, Hicklet Lau comes out with a new strategy this round. Bouncing around, lateral movement, popping the jab out, and popping it out strong.
The average punches per round, and as you can see, there's been a rather dramatic drop-off, at least on the part of Rafael Ruelas. I think one of the reasons for that, of course, is that Lau has not allowed Ruelas inside, where he's been able to throw a whole lot of punches. Right now, let's go into the corner of Rafael Ruelas with Sean O'Grady. Sean?
And I'm in Rafael Ruelas' corner with Chato Robles. Does he seem tired in this fight, Chato?
Well, it's been a while since his last fight. As we know, it's already been a year. What I told him to do in the first couple of rounds, I told him to go ahead, relax, and take his time. He's trying to look for a knockout. The knockout's going to come in on its own. So I want him to stay relaxed, stay focused, and just do the best he can. You know, so far defensively wise, he's doing a good job. He's keeping his hands up. He's moving his body side to side, bopping and weeping, which is good.
Yeah, you got him going. All right, Chato. I think he got the right idea. Barry, they think he's over here looking for the knockout. They want him to relax, and sometimes you find it.
Well, we'll see what happens. Right now, Lau, I think the strategy that he has adopted in this round, at least thus far, which has been rather effective.
I think he caught Ruelas a little bit by surprise, and Ruelas really hasn't gotten started in this round yet.
And again, you must consider the fatigue factor, even though in the corner of Ruelas, they didn't think he was too tired. There's a quick left hand by Lau. One thing about fighting the fight at long range, if a punch does get there, the judges will see it, and a huge left hand knocked Ruelas backwards.
Now remember, that one really got to him. I was going to talk about his poor balance, which I thought contributed to that stagger previously, but that second left hook definitely got to him and dinged him a little.
Yeah, he was looking in some trouble. And now he's not going to grab. He's going to go right back against the ropes. And Lau has to be careful to pick his shots here.
Ruelas in this round has not gotten untracked at all.
Now Ruelas fights back off the ropes. That'll let your man know you've been hurt. And so Ruelas has not clutched, has not grabbed. And now he seems to be back among them here. But a big round for Hicklet Lau. No question that he won this round. End of 8.
As he landed a very nice punch to Ruelas that staggered him. It's partly the bad balance of Ruelas. There it is once again. The legs kind of giving way a little bit under that poor balance. He kept it up, and then as he chased him into the corner, he landed another good shot in close that straightened Ruelas up. That one right there, and that one seemed to really hurt Ruelas actually a little bit more.
I think so too. And we come to the 9th round now, and Hicklet Lau obviously full of confidence.
All right, bring out. Let's go.
I thought Lau did a good thing and not really jumping on Ruelas with everything, and apparently seems to have saved a little bit because he may need it here over the final 2 rounds. Ruelas still with a 2-point edge on Hicklet Lau, despite the fact that Lau clearly won the last round. Right now, let's go into the corner of Hicklet Lau, where Sean O'Grady is. Sean?
Come on, get him out.
Very exciting over here in this corner. Carlos Albuerne, he can win this fight. What are you telling me?
Boxing to him, but this guy's too old.
Rafael Ruelas is too old, huh? These late rounds take it out of him.
You know, I'm not in the leg now, right now.
Yeah, right now is when he's going to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
You win the fight easy.
Elected over here. I'm very happy, Carlos Albuerne. They like what they see from Hicklet Lau in this corner. Barry?
Well, another big left hand by Hicklet Lau. But still, on your card, Rich, you have Ruelas in front. So even though they're very confident in Lau's corner, not so confident in this corner.
Well, Lau seems to be the guy coming on, though. Ruelas needs to land something significant here.
Ruelas with a very high connect percentage, but has not been as active as he was early in the fight.
I think part of that connect percentage, Barry, is based on the fact that in the early rounds he was throwing a lot of body punches, and naturally they were all landing inside.
Lau actually has been very effective since he's gone to the outside.
Watch that come in, man.
9th round was his, or rather the 8th round was his biggest round of the fight.
Lau certainly seems more confident.
They're pretty confident in his corner, aren't they, Sean?
Come on, let's go. Get him out. Let's go. I don't want you holding, guys. Come on, get us down.
Yes, they're very confident, and for good reason. You know what? In this fight, especially right now, Hicklet Lau looks like the veteran.
Really does. He certainly looks fit.
Well, they got him in great shape. You know, the Team Freedom boxers early, they didn't have a lot of stamina, but they have grown. They've learned how to help one another. They've gained confidence now that they have a world champion in their camp, with Yoel Casamayor.
Mouthpiece came out of the mouth of
signs of fatigue. Now, what an opportunity for Rafael Ruelas. I know it's late in the fight, but you really got to give all your energy, all your effort to try to get a KO here. Well, 10 seconds.
But again, an effective round for Hicklet Lau. So it is possible. I trust that you gave that round to Lau, Rich, and if you did, it's still possible for him.
Well, I would think it's very close, and I would think that he's going to get a real earful here from his very excitable trainer.
Set the end.
Well, he has had great success when it is left in the hands of the judges. I'm sure both corners are fairly confident about their man being ahead going to this final round.
Again, a number of these rounds, I would say 4 or 5 of these rounds could have gone either way. There could be a real wide disparity in the way the judges see this one.
I agree, and generally speaking, that would favor the former champion. So we come to the 10th and final round. Let's go. And we'll see what sort of tactics these two employ, whether they feel desperate enough to let it all go and try to get their opponent out of there, or whether they feel confident enough that it will be left in the hands of the judges.
And I thought Ruelas was fighting very well early in the fight, not so well here late in the fight.
I've always lived by the premonition that the last round, you got to give it everything you have. You don't know what the judges are thinking or what they're seeing. So you have to go out like you're behind on the scorecards in that final round. Also, you give that impression to the judges. You want to win this fight. You're still fresh.
1-point fight on your card, Rich, and as you said, there are a number of rounds in this fight that you can make a pretty strong case either way, especially early in the fight when there was all that infighting. Ruelas with the left hand.
That's the first real single significant punch that Rafael has landed in maybe 3 rounds.
Lau fighting the kind of fight where he's confident he'll get a decision. He's not rushing anything, just kind of working the jab, trying to keep Ruelas off of him, not coming with the right hand very much.
A lot of confidence in his style and his demeanor, but look how high he carries his chin. Hicklet Lau may want to tuck that a little bit, especially now. You're going to hide that chin from your opponent. And Ruelas is an explosive puncher.
Lau again switches up, goes southpaw.
I thought he's fought better as a right-hander tonight.
I do too.
I don't know that he's done much as a southpaw. He said when he's been at long range fighting right-handed, he's done pretty well.
That was a good left hook by Lau.
Get him out of there. Come on, work out.
Hicklet Lau has been in a number of fights where he's been very close only to get a loss. In fact, you could probably make that case for at least 4 of his 5 losses.
Come on, your hands are free, guys.
And of course, in his fight against undefeated Jesse Varela, he did score a knockdown of Varela in the 3rd round of that bout. That's the only time Varela has been down as a professional.
Let go, clean, let him go.
Now again, as a friend of Rafael Ruelas and a guy who's seen him virtually as long as the Goosens have, even if he gets a win in this fight, what do you say to him?
Well, I think you really have to evaluate if he can't dominate a fighter who has had 17 professional fights to a greater extent, win or lose here, than he has tonight, then he really better evaluate things.
Absolutely. And look how slow he is. He seems to have aged during this fight.
And Lau trying to finish it up with a flourish, and it's over. Excellent fight. Hicklet Lau thinks that he's the winner, and Rafael Ruelas obviously a tired fighter. It's in the hands of the judges, and it should be a close fight. Rich, what do you think about the last round?
I think this fight is one basically that can just go either way. I don't think it was a dominant performance by Rafael Ruelas, who I think was hoping for a dominant performance here tonight. And I think the decision is very much up for grabs at this point.
I do too, and I think it's a very tough fight for the judges, as we've said, especially the first 4 rounds, which were fought in very close quarters. There's Gabe Ruelas in the ring with his brother, taking a good long look into his eyes, and here's a guy who thinks he won the fight, and we're going to find out the answer to all those questions when we come back right after this.
Not quiet about sports.
Find out. Jimmy?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing here at the New Frontier Hotel and Casino, we have a split decision. Judge at ringside, Chuck Jumpa scores about 96 to 94 in favor of Rafael Ruelas. Judge at ringside, Al Lefkowitz scores about 97 to 93 in favor of Hicklet Lau. Judge at ringside, Paul Smith, scores about 96 to 94 in favor of the winner, Rafael Ruelas.
Well, I'm sure Rafael Ruelas himself feels that he dodged a bullet here, Rich.
Yes, it was very close. I had the fight scored absolutely even at 95-95. And I don't think that's the kind of outcome, a split decision by the barest margin here tonight that Rafael was hoping for. You have to cut him some slack. He's been off for a year, of course, and coming off that devastating loss to Costa. But I'm sure he was hoping for a better performance, or at least a more dominating one than he got here tonight.
And in Hicklet Lau, a guy who has been so close so many times, only to come up with another loss. We go to the center of the ring, and Sean O'Grady. Sean?
Thanks, Barry. Rafael Ruelas, a split decision. Did you make this fight tougher than it needed to be?
Well, you know what? Maybe the fact that I've been up for a while, that might have made it a little more difficult. But I felt that I wanted to fight, unanimously. I thought that I connected a lot more punches. I was more effective. I blocked a lot of punches.
You thought you won the fight because you threw more punches. Did you feel like you missed your trainer, Joe Goosen, in this fight?
Well, not necessarily. It's not because,
what are you thinking here?
Well, you know what? I felt that I had to work at times a little bit more, but I know I had to be careful because, Hicklet Lau is not a bad fighter at all. He's a good counter puncher, and I had to be careful for those counters.
Did you expect such a tough fight from him?
Well, you know what? It was more of a difficult style. It wasn't necessarily that it was such a difficult fight. It was just a difficult style for me.
How about the year off? Did you feel you seemed to really get tired in the later rounds? Was that because of the year off?
Yeah, that could have. I would say that definitely played a role. But with every fight, I'm going to improve. I'm going to be better. And I don't feel that I did too bad for having been off. For a whole year. I felt that I won this fight unanimously.
Okay. Well, you're back on your way. I know you want to get back to the top of boxing. Rafael Ruelas, he gets the split decision victory tonight. Barry, Rich?
By the narrowest of margins, he felt he won it unanimously.